All right, let's dive into something really fascinating, the subtle and, often misunderstood world of the highly intelligent mind. I want you to forget the stereotypes for a minute, because we're going to look at the actual psychological patterns that shape how some of the smartest people out there really think and behave. I mean, it's a great question, right? You've probably noticed it yourself. The really smart people, they aren't always the loudest person in the room or the one with the quickest comeback. In fact, a lot of the time, they're the quiet ones, the observers. And today, we're going to figure out exactly why that is. Yeah, we have this common picture of genius, don't we? It's loud, it's performative, it's this big display of knowledge. But the psychological reality? Well, it's often the complete opposite. It's quiet, it's analytical, and it's driven way more by asking the right questions than by shouting out answers. Real intelligence, it turns out, operates way below the surface. So here's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to unpack 10. That's right, 10 of these amazing patterns. We'll get into why solitude is such a powerful tool, the surprising link between overthinking and IQ, and why saying "I don't know" can actually be a sign of true genius. Ready? Let's get into the internal architecture of these incredible minds. Okay, first things first, let's move past those old stereotypes. These habits we're talking about, they aren't just weird quirks. They're actually the result of a brain that's wired to analyze and connect things on a much, much deeper level. So our journey really starts inside the mind itself. We're going to take a look at the rich internal world of these high IQ folks and see how they process thoughts and emotions, away from the public eye. So, first up, enjoying time alone. Now, this is not about being antisocial. Not at all. Think about it. For a mind that's constantly firing on all cylinders, solitude is like a charging station. It's absolutely essential for that deep reflection, for untangling really complex problems, and honestly, just for thinking without being interrupted every 5 seconds. Okay, next is a habit that gets a really bad rap: overthinking. But for a highly analytical brain, this is a feature, not a bug. Seriously, their mind is just built to run all these simulations, considering every single variable and potential outcome. This isn't just anxiety, it's radical thoroughness. All right, this next one completely debunks a major myth. Talking to yourself. We've all heard the jokes, but it's not a sign of madness. Far from it. It's actually a powerful tool for cognitive control. When you're wrestling with a really complex idea, just saying it out loud can be the key that unlocks the entire solution. And the process is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. First, you externalize the problem. You say it out loud, which makes it feel real, tangible. Second, by verbalizing it, you're organizing all those chaotic thoughts into a logical structure. And then, finally, from that structure, boom, clarity emerges and you can see a clear path forward. Here's a surprisingly common trait: a really strong and often pretty complex sense of humor. That ability to appreciate abstract, multi-layered, or even dark comedy, it's directly linked to advanced brain processing. It takes a lot of mental horsepower to recognize those unexpected patterns and connections, and that's a classic hallmark of high intelligence. And to wrap up this section, the tendency to be a night owl. Now, this isn't true for everyone, but some studies have found a really interesting correlation. It suggests that people with higher IQs often feel their minds are way sharper and more creative late at night, when the rest of the world has finally quieted down. So all these internal habits, they all fuel this unending quest for knowledge. And this next set of patterns we're going to look at, it's not just about learning facts. It's about a fundamental, deep-seated drive to understand. Okay, at the very heart of all of this is intense curiosity. And I don't mean just a passive interest. This is an active, powerful mental engine. It's the thing that drives them to constantly ask why, to dig way deeper, and to explore topics far, far beyond just a surface-level understanding. And that curiosity leads to a really powerful paradox. The smartest people are often the ones who are most comfortable admitting they don't have all the answers. Saying "I don't know" isn't a sign of weakness at all. It's a sign of profound intellectual security. It just shows you recognize how vast knowledge really is, and that you're always ready to learn something new. Which leads us right into cognitive flexibility. And honestly, this is a kind of superpower, the ability to actually change your mind. It's being able to update your own beliefs when you're hit with new, compelling evidence, instead of just stubbornly clinging to old ideas. It's all about being loyal to the truth, not to your own ego. And woven through all of this is a constant search for deeper meaning. They just don't accept facts at face value. They're driven to understand the principles underneath, to find the hidden patterns and connections, and to really grasp the why behind, well, everything. Okay, so we've seen what's going on inside. Now let's look at how all these internal patterns actually shape their interactions with the outside world. This last habit, in a lot of ways, ties everything else we've talked about together. Here it is. They observe more than they speak. They get that every single interaction, every meeting, every conversation is an opportunity to gather data. So they prioritize listening and analyzing a situation from all possible angles before they even think about offering a conclusion. That silence you might notice, it isn't empty. It is absolutely full of information processing. Which brings us to the core takeaway, right? The main thread that connects every single one of these habits. So the biggest takeaway is this. Real intelligence, it isn't loud. It's not some kind of performance. One of our sources just puts it perfectly. Sometimes it's simply a quiet mind that keeps questioning, analyzing, and exploring. That's where the real magic happens. So, in a nutshell, the pattern is pretty clear, right? It's a mind that values its rich internal world. It's fueled by an unending quest for knowledge. It prioritizes observation over performance, and it embraces uncertainty and flexibility as strengths. And that leaves us with one last thought to take away with you. As you go about your day, which of these quiet patterns do you see in yourself, or maybe in the people around you? Really think about it. The answer might just change how you see intelligence forever.